everybody, what is going on? It's your boy izlogic.business welcoming you to the Anarchy Analysis LEC week number 7 and the LCS week number 5 predictions video. We've got a lot of games to go through, like I say every week, so why not jump into our results straight away, where we can look at who won last weekend. So let's go over last week's results. This is going to be the interesting bit, because we'll start in the LCS. Day 1, 5 out of 5. Day 2, 4 out of 5, only dropping the 100 Thieves beating Dignitas matchup, which could have realistically gone to Dignitas if they didn't mess it up. Day 3, 3 out of 5, we only dropped 2 games, the last match being Clg beating Dignitas, Dig going 1-2 this week, which is kind of not the best if I'm honest for them. And the other match that we dropped was Flyquest yet again, beating TSM to another win against the 3rd place or 2nd place team in the LCS. As for the LEC, we actually did very well. 4 on day number 1, only dropping Misfits beating XL, and day 2, another 4 out of 5. Can you guess which team won? I can tell you, Misfits won again. Yeah, I predicted an 0-2 week for Misfits, they instead go 2-0. What is my luck there? But for grand totals, LCS, 44 out of 60, and the LEC, 36 out of 55. We are getting ever so close to the final weeks of the LEC, and LCS is games before playoffs. I'm looking forward to them, with these scorelines being extremely close. So let us get into our LCS predictions for this week, kicking it off with TSM and Dignitas on the Rift. These two teams had a bit of a weird weekend where TSM went 2-1, beating CLG and Team Liquid, whereas Dignitas went 1-2, dropping a big game against 100 Thieves as well as CLG. And interestingly to note, both teams last week faced CLG. One team managed to beat CLG last week, and that was TSM. You can kind of tell where my predictions go in here. I'm going with TSM based off of the record against CLG last weekend. Just a bit of a shaky one, though last time these two teams faced off, Dignitas took the win against TSM, and I'm honestly expecting this weekend to be kind of the same story for TSM. 2-1 week yet again. That's how they've been kind of going throughout this year. Picking up 2 wins, dropping 1 game. That's how they've been going, and I honestly feel that's what we're going to see here. But which game am I giving to one of TSM's opponents? Only time will tell as we go into our next matchup. Now that matchup is 100 Thieves taking on Evil Geniuses. Both squads went 2-1 last weekend. Both squads lost their games against C9. Which squad looked better out to against it? I would say was EG, but EG also had a bit of a tantalizing performance against one of the other opponents, whereas 100 Thieves smoked the rest of their competition. Now, as such, if you can tell by where I'm going with this, I'm saying that 100 Thieves are winning this matchup, and keep your eyes in the jungle this time, as the matchup between Svenskeren and Closer is going to determine how these two teams play, and honestly, I cannot wait to watch this matchup. After 2 big crunching first games, we are going into what I feel could be only described as a stomp. C9 versus Flyquest. You can kind of tell where I'm going to say the stomp's going in favor of, because I think C9 are just going to dismantle this Fly squad, even though they are technically what I would call qualified for playoffs already. Yeah, I feel that they're just going to dismantle, because all these matches count for the end of the season, baby. Because we've got to go through 5 different types of these matchups. Team Liquid and Golden Guardians now go onto the Rift. And this matchup, I only feel benefits one team. That's Team Liquid. They're who I think will win because honestly, they need to pick up these sorts of games if they want to have a good chance of getting to playoffs. And as such, right now, it's kind of not been that good for them, especially considering they've been struggling as of late. And the final matchup on the Friday is Imt versus Clg. Honestly, this is going to be a very interesting matchup as both teams are near the bottom of the table, both needing this win if they want to make late surges into this season. Now, I for one feel that Imt are going to win this one, whereas Clg could quite honestly get the win here, but I feel Imt will edge this one out, but it's going to be a very close matchup, one of which I think should go in favor of the Imt lineup. The second day is kicked off with Dignitas versus Golden Guardians. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. Golden Guardians are losing to Dignitas. 100 Thieves and Team Solo Mid. We're going into this one as an absolute mother trucking banger. I for one feel this is going to be a TSM win on a silver platter. 100 Thieves, I feel, will kind of falter like they did in the last time they faced TSM, where TSM just lose early, win late. That's how they've kind of been playing these seasonal games, and honestly I feel this is how it's going to be. And as such, let's just say this is going to be a banger, and there's a couple more bangers to get through on this day's set of action, but without further ado, let's go into the next game. Did somebody say another banger? C9 Team Liquid onto the rift. I've gone with C9 as this lock-in rematch is just so favorable to them because Team Liquid are struggling. Even though they could pick up a win here, but that's highly unlikely. Honestly, this is a hard week for C9. They've got some big opponents all the time. But as I say, C9 win here against Team Liquid. Evil Genius is taking on Imt, and this is honestly going to be a close matchup. However, I feel that this is just EG favoured considerably, as they're going to go into the rift with a lot of power. And as such, I'm going to say EG winning by a pretty big top gap. It's anarchy analysis time, ladies and gentlemen. Clg versus Flyquest in the bottom of the table clash. Both teams are coming in on a really weird set of results. However, I for one feel this could be a great matchup for either team. Both need a win. Both need to get big points. I for one feel that Flyquest will win this one, even though Clg have picked up a massive win against Dignitas in their last game last weekend. But as I say, I honestly think this could go either way, but I've gone with Flyquest as my actual prediction. Final day of the LCS in action with Golden Guardians and 100 Thieves taking to Rift for the first game. Personally, you can only see this going as a one-way trip for 100 Thieves as they all win this one. But I for one feel that you look at Golden Guardians this year, this is a developmental squad that they're built. And honestly, the squad's working very well. They're learning and picking up in traction, and in their last game that they played, realistically, they did very well against EG, but they did drop the matchup in the end, and as such, I for one feel that they're not going to be 100 Thieves. Dig versus EG, going on to the Rift, and this is a banger, as this is a top of half of the table clash, one of which I feel could go, yet again, as my favorite phrase in this series is, either way. Personally, looking at the two teams coming into this one, I would say Dig are slightly under the sort of performance that EG have been showing, but in my opinion, I will say Dignitas are winning this one. And Dig are going to do a lot of good work here. Realistically, I feel that they're just going to top gap them, which is kind of impossible because, you know, Impact's in the top lane for EG and Dig have a Fate God. But nevertheless, in my opinion, it could be a very interesting matchup. And as such, I can see Dig winning this one. Banger matchup ahead as TSM take on Cloud9. Honestly, this is another top of the table clash. We're getting a lot of bangers this weekend. Personally, I feel that C9 will win this one, though TSM have not faced C9 in quite some time and have been on this sort of uptrend in terms of performance since the lock-in tournament essentially, and they could be essentially going into this one as an absolute kind of massive collision course between the rosters. Team Liquid versus CLG is the second to last matchup in the LCS this weekend, and I for one feel I want to watch this match. After last weekend's performance from CLG, Broxers brought a lot to this roster, and personally, this could be an absolute classic if CLG are in their actual performing mood, whether that's actually scoring points or not. But as I say, Team Liquid, in my opinion, are gonna win this one, but this could be an absolute classic if not. Flyquest versus Imt, going on to the Rift for the final LCS game. Personally, this is gonna be a close one, but I've actually gone for another Flyquest win this weekend. They're picking up two, having one of their better weekends this year. And as for one, this is gonna be an interesting matchup. Honestly, Imt should realistically win, because they're better at the moment, but Flyquest could just absolutely smash them. And that would be my prediction here. It's time to take a magical journey to the LEC. I'm very musical today, I don't know why. But the matchup first up is Mad versus Schalke. Two teams struggling as of late, though Mad are in the better position. This matchup is a testament to either team, whether or not they win it. And this could put their hopes of playoffs back alight, as most teams have written off Schalke at the moment, and a few other teams have been written off as well in terms of predictions, but I've gone with Matt here as my winner. I just feel that they're in the better state as of now, and realistically should pick up the win here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Astralis and Misfits is the second game this week, and believe it or not, up until this point, I had had all my predictions written out, ready for who I want to go with. This one, literally just done now. I had no clue who was going to win this. And personally, I've gone with Misfits winning this one. And I just feel this is going to be a very close matchup. And I, for one, cannot wait to see it. And I, for one, am expecting a lot of explosiveness on the Rift when it comes to this game. Well, match of the week candidate here, but not one that we've gone for. G2 versus Rogue. Everyone has talked this matchup as both teams coming into this one on straight fire. Last time these two teams faced off, G2 took the win, but Rogue have done a lot more impressiveness in their results recently. Calculated and precise matchups that they've taken and done this very well. However, I've gone with G2 here, purely down to how chaotic they want to make it. If Rogue want to go precise and precision and try and take down G2, they're just going to get the anarchy and chaos out of G2, destroying them on the map, with probably some unique pick that they'll showcase to us, like that Silent Center that we saw a couple of weeks ago. This is the 19th matchup this weekend, and SK and Vitality hit the Rift. I for one like this matchup because it is a battle for Crownshot, as he is facing his former team who's doing significantly better than what they were, and I for one feel that you've got to keep an eye on that bot lane yet again. Both teams love to play through it, Treats being the initiating aggressor for this SK lineup, and be sure to check out my Anarchy Analysis matchup of the week where we take the Treats challenge. And as such, now we are coming into a big battle that I feel SK are gonna win. The last matchup on the Friday is XL taking on Fnatic in the Battle of the British Orgs. I for one are looking forward to this matchup as XL kind of been struggling recently, and Fnatic only just dropped a game to G2 when their router is working. So personally, I've gone with Fnatic. They've got the better record right now, though XL have done it over Fnatic quite often before, and this could be the playoff rebirth for XL that they need. Did somebody say 5 more matches? I definitely did, as the last day of the LEC kicks off with Schalke taking on Astralis. Another matchup that's very close for me that I've only managed to just predict, and as such you have to look at it very closely. Schalke kind of been on the downward trend, but Astralis have been in a similar sort of thing through the entire season and only just managed to start racking up wins. But personally, I feel that right now Astralis are on the better form and are actually going to win this one, even if you consider this an upset in my terms of predictions, even if I want to go with a Schalke win here. But Astralis are winning this in my mind. Vitality and XL, another close matchup, both on the downswing, both struggling. Playoff place contention matchup, kinda. But no. Honestly, this is going to be an interesting matchup because both teams need this win. Both teams are going to come out swinging. Last time we covered this matchup, it was very close. And personally, I feel that this is going to be an XL win, one that they dearly need for that playoff race, like I was saying in their previous matchup against Fnatic. Fnatic and SK is an interesting twist of a matchup. Both contesting top half of the table, one of which is doing slightly better than the other in terms of positioning. This is going to be a grueling matchup for both teams as the El Clasico of the LEC hits the riff. Personally, it's going to come down to the support play from either team. Hylissang versus Treats is a big matchup, and this could decide inevitably who gets all-pro support, as well as who is possibly MVP. I know Hylissang's not in that contention, but Treats is at the current state of the season, and personally, if he does well here against Hylissang, he could cement himself that position. And I for one are damn looking forward to this matchup, as I have gone with an SK win. You got the for the LCS one, you're getting the for the LEC one. G2 versus Misfits is the Anarchy Analysis matchup of the week, and personally this is going to G2 hands down. But why am I covering this matchup? I want to look at Misfits. This is a team that's struggled when they're performing, and this matchup is kind of their test of strength, because you're going in against a squad who's been very dominant, and I want to look at both sides of the field here in my teamfight breakdown when we get to it, because Misfits have not been performing very well. Realistically need to pick up a win in order to actually get themselves a big score, big chance for playoffs. G2 pretty much have locked in. In fact, they have beaten Fnatic last weekend, locked in. But this is sort of a G2 may meme game rather than a Misfits win game if G2 lose. But I've gone with G2 winning this, and it should be an absolute interesting turn of affairs. Lastly, Rogue versus Nomad is the final matchup this week between two teams that finished first and second last summer. And coming into this one, Rogue are in the better form of things. Mad are kind of just mad and not being too good other than sitting in third right now. They're doing good in terms of positioning. I don't rate their play as a whole, and as such I've given the win to Rogue here, who have just stepped up this year. So there we go, all 25 games covered. And you're probably wondering, why am I recording a separate section to end this video off in comparison to normal? Well, I have a thing that I made before the LEC last week that I want to share with you guys. It is an LEC bingo card. It's on my Twitter right now. It's in this video right now as well. So anytime one of these things happens, just plonk a counter on it or do whatever. It's there, freely available to you guys. And with that, I'm going to end this episode out here. If you enjoyed this part, leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new here if you want to, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.